babashuaib, the correctional officer, born in Accra, Ghana, a Quranic researcher and a critical thinker based on religion, who does online lectures based on the guidance of the Quran on platforms such as Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok since 2018. In Finland, and 13 years, QBE, in Classical Arabic and MSA in Quranic Arabic. The author of the Refer to the Quran, which helps every novice to understand the steps towards understanding the Great Quran and the guidance of God in it.
Yeah. Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. Peace be upon you all. Yeah, thank you all for coming. Kindly share so other people can join before I start. Yeah, kindly share so that other people can join. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, peace be upon you all. Thank you all for coming. Yes, let me see here. Yeah, I'm streaming live from Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok, right? Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. So for those on TikTok, kindly share so other people can also join as usual. Thank you for coming. And for those on Facebook and YouTube, I appreciate your presence as well. Kindly share so other people can join. Yeah. So thank you all for coming. Let me give some salams to all those who are here. I can see Abdul Abbas. I can see LV Gongoli. Yeah, salam. I can see Ganda Ogo. Yeah, salam. Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Somebody says, I have stopped watching my favorite team, Man City, to watch you live. I appreciate that. You know, so your salvation is more important than football. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Dangana Ndagi, salam. I see only the truth matters. Hey, brother Hamza Malik, I see you. Salam to you. Thank you for coming. Patro, salam. I see Abu Tamas, I see you. Salam, brother. Thank you for being around. I see Tariq Ayub. Balogun, I see you. Salam, Stussy, Sister Stussy, I see you. Dragonfly, Mohammed Diallo, Kudisia, Musa Seidu, Abubakar Muhammad Tijani, Tawfiq Ahmed, I see you. Salam. Salam, Raisa Watson, I see you too. Salam to you. Salam, Salih Jimmy, Naganka, yeah. Nom name, I see non-name, and then I see Habib Rabbani. Yeah, Baba Saidu, I know you are there somewhere. You're watching. Abdul Samad, I know you are there. Salam to you all. For those on TikTok, let me see. At the moment, Let me see. What did I miss? For those on TikTok, or anyways, thank you all for coming. I appreciate your presence. Thank you all. Yeah, Stephen Awugbo, Basiru Fatau. Yes, now I can say it's enough with the shoutouts because there's a lot. I appreciate your presence. This keep me going. I appreciate that. Thank you a lot for coming, Ibrahim Mohammed. I appreciate that. Thanks for your support, and let's keep this moving. So kindly share so other people can join, right? Kindly share so other people can join. Yeah, thank you very much, Praise Abdul. Rashid Subraitie. Thank you all. I appreciate the support and I appreciate your presence. Nasiru Fayinaman, I see you. Thank you all. So kindly share, then other people can join. Let's start the topic for today, right? I'm going to be tackling a topic for a while. Then I'll delve into the question and answers. Some of the questions have been asked during the week, and then I will still give chance for the question and answer section, right? So this is how we are going to do. So by the way, this is the correctional officer. Yeah, salam alaikum. This is the correctional officer, and you can see me with my usual cap and my this is my logo, and then the mesh is available on so far we have ever since it became available, we have about 7 people who actually got their copy, and this is it's an offer. They have it on offer. It ships everywhere in the world. You go to natsalenterprise.myspreadshop.fi or .net or .eu. You can still access the website, right? So it's available. It's 15% offer on it. And then for people who need the Great Quran, the copy of the hard copy of the Great Quran, you can get it on Payhib, www.payhib.com/natsal or www.holvi.com/shop/natsal. You can get it there. Yeah. And for those who don't know about my YouTube channel, you see it says kindly subscribe to my YouTube page. That is, you search me by the name Bush2G9 or the correctional officer, you find me. If you find this kind of face here, this guy, or you see this logo, yeah, that is me. You find me there. Thank you for the support. I appreciate that. Just like Isa alayhi salam, Quran chapter 61 verse 14, he called his disciples to be his supporters towards God. Similarly, I'm also calling people towards God, right? I'm not calling you to be my servant or to worship me or to idolize me. None of that. Yeah, none of that. So be my supporters towards God, because this is why I'm here. I'm here to present you the message of God. And also for the ongoing, funding, that is on GoFundMe page. You see Hop Nima. That is the website on below the page. Unfortunately, for those on TikTok, you cannot see that. So I'm streaming live on Facebook and YouTube, and they can see it on the page, right? So if you get to watch the playback later on, you will see everything I'm putting here. Yeah. So thank you very much. That is Hop Nima. You see it ongoing. We have about 25% of the donation already. God bless you all for giving the donation. So far, we are getting things in place, prepared to start the distribution of the items to the the poor and the needy, the old people. That is the main focus back. And also kudos to brother Isa Watson, based in South Africa, Cape Town. At least we've been able to present something, but we are willing to have enough donations to also present to brother Isa back in Cape Town. He's doing marvelous by feeding a lot of homeless people, poor people, and I appreciate him, together with he and his wife and whoever has in hand in helping them out. We appreciate that. Thank you very much, and let's keep it going so that we can help each other, inshallah. So I appreciate your presence and thank you all for coming once again, right? Yeah. So let's do it this way. So yeah, Abu Idrisu, thank you. Abu Bakasu, thank you. Yeah, salam Mawiya, I see you. Salam Mawiya, you're welcome. Salam. Okay, so the topic for today is, I'm going to play a video by a sectarian. It's actually a Somalian, like he's a Somali, right? He's a Somali. but we are not going to base on his in his tribe or his ethnicity, right? We are going to base the issue about what he said, right? And this emanated from the hadith books they usually follow. So I'll be quoting some few hadith, references or verses, and then we are going to tackle such verses, and then we jump to the Quran to analyze, and then I will show you the problem with the hadithyuuns. I call them the psychopathic hadithyuuns, and they do exist. It's not a joke. And you saw what happened in Nigeria, I think last year. Was it this year or last year? When they killed that girl, they stoned the girl to death, but they even burnt her or something. This is the group I classify as psychopathic hadithyuuns, because everything they are doing emanates from the hadith books, not from the Quran. The Quran doesn't exhort people to do such horrendous act. No. So they got it. They are inspired by the hadith books, just like the ISIS, the Al-Shabaab, the Boko Haram, all of these things, they get it from the hadith books, right? So I'm going to pinpoint to reveal certain hidden side of these people that you don't know. So if they are your neighbors and they are extreme hadith followers, then keep yourself in check. Beware of them, because anytime it's just like in a gadget, like electronic gadget. There are some wires, right? The moment this wire like touches, you know what can happen. Like so the same goes in their brain. When something triggers, they can forget you are their neighbor. You even regret being their neighbor. I'm serious. The girl they killed in Nigeria, she is part of them. She's their neighbor. Do you see how they killed her? They can forget within the seconds that they know you. I'm serious. Psychopathic. I'm serious. Okay, psychopathic, you don't know? Okay, I check it for you. Now, this comes right from the word psychopath, right? Now, when we say psychopathic, suffering from an undiagnosed mental disorder. So this person has a mental disorder, but he has not been diagnosed. And what causes the mental disorder? It comes from the book. This indoctrination, they have been indoctrinated coming from these books I call garbage books. The reason why I call them garbage books, because they are worthless messages. What do I need it from when I have the best book, the Quran? What do I need a worthless message for? So it's a garbage. So that's why I call it garbage book. I'll tell them to their faces. They know. So you will see the video yourself. I'm going to play you here. For those who speak Somalian language, right? Kudos to you. I love Somalian people. They are my people. They are my friends as well. But I'm only playing because the man is a Somali. Just like if I'm playing a video of a Ghanaian or an American or a Chinese, you first identify the person by his race, who he is and where he's come from. Then you can transcend to the message he has to talk about. Just like we are speaking about Prophet Muhammad, alayhi salam, he's an Arabian, right? You can't do away with his background. It's impossible. You can't. So the background plays a role, and then you move on to the subject matter, right? Okay. So, Sister Loyola, Jose, Rashida, you're welcome. Thank you all. So I'm done with the salams. So from now on, if I ignore your salam, kindly forgive me. So this is my way I invite to Allah by perception, I and whoever follows me, and glory be to Allah, for I am not among the idolaters, right? I'm not a mushrik. I'm not part of the mushriks. I'm not idolater. If you think you are here to see an Sunni or Shia or Ahmadiyya or Tariqat Tijaniyya, I don't belong to those political parties. Yeah, they do politics, so I don't belong to them. Anyways, so let's move on. So I'm going to play this video of this. If this guy is trying to propagate the cannibalism or trying to let people become, cannibals, I have no idea. Right?
قتل مرتد adoo nafta ka baxaysaad murtad nooloo socdo aragtay intaad dishcun ما yeelay somada somare لأن المرتد لا حرمة له حرمة ما لها ninka asaga وله قتل مرتد وأكله baa ku jirta hada intaad dilato ayaad shiilanood cuni waad karsan kaa hore meydka horeed cunayso walow aklu aadami mayitina caadiga ah asagoo sidiisaad cunaysa inaad karisa lama ogolo dab inaad saartood karisa lama ogolo isagoo sidiisa u qoyan oo caydhiina ayaad cunaysa waqulahu waxaa u bannaan qatlu xarbiyin gaal xarbi oo dagaal naga dhexin intuu dilo isagoo nool haddana cunaa u bannaan murtadku liannahumaa waa hayru macsuumayni hayru muxtaramayni ayib laa qatlu dhimmiyin wa musta'mani gaalkii dhimmiga jizada ka qaadayni oo nool haddaad aragto adoo naftu kaa baxayso ma dilan kartid lianna waxaa weeye ammaanka aan siinay baa ilaalinaya ومستأمننا والله كي بالن كلا قال كتاب الهدى من كسر مرتين أصونا عزم إليه والسبيل حربين أصونا ما لو قل يعني نوحوك يجي وحا أصحى قال كي رأي ذمك هاي إن كان قارن يهوين إذا حربية هاي أيضا عن رقبة هاين أضوي نفتو كابا حيث انتاد لتؤذ وإذا ستواتقوا بتبادي كرتا الأصح يحل قتل السبي أي الحربي والمرأة الحربيين للأكل باللود لا لغيره لماذا؟ وحان لنا هاي ميسن أهين عندنا ميسن أهين معصومي الدم بالأصل وإنما بانتفاء شرط القتل أو الحل هل كاسم تاقلنا هوين إذا حربية دا يسبق حربية ديقو دو الله محرمين inaan laga helin ciladii banayn lahayd oo kufri waa laga helay ciladii banayn lahayd laakiin waxa laga waayay shartigi dhamaystiri lahaa sababkii ciladii qitaalka iyo xiraabada ah.
Okay, now I'm going to replay the video, then we are going to track whatever he said. You'll be shocked, you'll be amazed, right? For my people from the Somalian section, I know you know this person. It's obvious, you know him. If you are Somalia, you should know him. So kindly help other people to recognize this person, right? I don't know his name, but I would love to know his name, right? The video is on YouTube, is available. Just research the Somalian scholar or sheikh who said you can kill murtads or apostates, right? When they say murtad, we are talking about an apostate, right? So I'm going to replay the video, then we are going to track whatever he's saying, and then you see what is going on, right? And these are the books these people follow and they claim is part of Islam. Okay, so now let's listen. So now he's going to talk about, he says something else that is allowed, right? This is into context. So the whole part of that video is 2 minutes section, 2 minutes 30 seconds. The context is about murtads. So he's going to talk about something which is allowed again concerning apostates, what you can do to an apostate, somebody who, you understand, gets out of the religion or betrays or he's no more interested in a particular form of religion and gives up. They call murtads or apostates. Okay, so he says something else that is allowed is to kill the murtad, which is apostate. That is what this Somali. So anybody who understands Somali, if you are here or you understand, please later on you can reconfirm everything if the translation is actually on par with whatever is being said, right? So somebody from Somalia actually knows him. So we have a brother who says, yes, we know him, Sheikh Hassan. So this person even said he is a very respected sheikh in Somalia. Now, do you see the problem here? And this is why I call the word psychopathic hadithyuuns, because this is a mental disorder, but because this person has not been diagnosed, so they think he's okay. So they'll think he's respected. They think he's a decent person. Not till that wires I'm talking about, the 2 wires in the head, not till they touch, then you start to, understand who the monster is. Okay? So now let's see. Let's see what he said. Then we are going to see what made him respectable. Like what made him a respectable person that people respect him. So let's cross-check and see. Salam Rashitek Africa. Now look. He says, if you are hungry, not angry in terms of red eyes, angry. No, if you are hungry, meaning from the stomach, and about to die, and you are about to die, listen. And you see a living, walking apostate, somebody who is an apostate. And when I say an apostate, let me help you out here. Let me share the screen so that you see what I mean by that. When we say apostate, we are talking about someone who is not faithful to a religion. That is in the context of religion. It is someone who is not faithful to a particular religion, a disloyal person who betrays or deserts his religion. So by definition, these people, the Sunnis, the Shias, the Ahmadis, whatever, I don't know about Ahmadis, but this mainstream traditional Muslims, they will claim if you're part of them and then you decided to leave them and you are still in their hood and their zone, they have to kill you. And it is part of the hadith books. It's not in the Quran. You will never find a single verse in the Quran which says somebody reverts from Islam, you should kill him. It doesn't exist. So that's why I call them psychopathic hadithiyyuns. They are. Okay. Now, apostate, someone who is not faithful to a religion. You know, when you are not faithful to something, you don't show effort. You don't give your 100%. You are just, you don't work for it. A disloyal person who betrays or deserts his religion. So he has deserted a religion, meaning he is not loyal, right? So that is the apostate. So in Arabic, they will say murtad, right? Okay, so let's go back to the Sheikh. He says, since you have a living apostate walking, and you who claim to be a hadithiyun Muslim, traditional Muslim, hadithiyun, not a real Muslim in the Quran has not been commanded to do such nonsensical act. This is a mental disorder. But you, the hadithiyun, your scholar, your sheikh is giving you the advice that if you are hungry, and then you find an apostate who is walking freely, freely, this is not cannibalism. It's more than a horror movie. I'm serious. and an apostate is walking freely. What you have to do, it is telling, it says, what you have to do is you should kill him and eat him. This is what the scholar is saying. You should kill this person and eat him. This scholar is telling you, you should kill this person who is an apostate, who has deserted his religion, the so-called sectarian religion. If he decide not to be part of it, this scholar, I know he's a Sunni, obviously, he's telling you, you should kill such a person and eat him. Okay, let's continue. And the people listening to him were laughing about it, right? They were even laughing about it, thinking it's a funny thing, right? Right? They think it's a funny thing. So they were laughing. So then he told him, you heard it. We have covered this before. That's what they said. You heard it. We have covered this before, right? Okay, so let's continue. Then he says, this apostate, which the psychopathic hadithiyuns will say a murtad, he says he has no honor whatsoever. This which means to them, this person is useless. He has no honor, right? Okay, let's continue. So that you can now slaughter him for yourself. This is what the scholar is telling you to do, right? He's telling you, you can now slaughter this apostate for yourself. Now, and these people, you think they are okay, right? So this is a sound person. And according to one brother here, he said this guy is a respected person in Somalia. He's called Sheikh Hassan. They respect him. So imagine you are respecting a cannibal. Okay, let's continue. And he said you can even fry him and eat him. So not only killing, you have to fry and eat. So if you have any hadithiyun who is an extreme hadithiyun who follow hadith books, be careful. If you go to his house, he might give you human meat because he might have killed his neighbor and frying the meat to give you. This is what their books tell them to do. And it is possible. These people will go extra miles for their hadith books. I'm serious. I know hadithiyuns. I know them. I'm telling you for a fact. They will go extra mile for their garbage books. I'm serious. Look, if you like insult the Quran, insult God, they will not say anything. But you, for their hadith books, oh my God, these people can go extra miles, right? So you see the scholars saying, he is telling you, kill such a person who is an apostate, fry him, and then eat him. Let's continue. So he says, you cook him, and then they are laughing about it. They are laughing. They think it's okay. So you see why I call the hadithiyuns bozos, and then I tell you they are psychopathic, people. Yes, they are. I'm serious. Because if you are sane, why will you uphold such books over the Quran or besides the Quran? What makes you think the garbage books have the right to be next to the Quran? So this is why the king of Saudi Arabia, Salman, you saw what he did. He started trimming the hadith. He has started trimming the hadith books, the garbage ones, right? And hopefully, God willing, they will start using the Quran. The Quran will be sufficient for them, inshallah. We are going to that direction. And the one you found dead, listen carefully. The scholar is reading from their own books. And he's telling you, and the one you found dead, and you are eating now. The one you found dead and you are eating now is continuing. You eat him the way he is. It is not advisable to cook him. If the same hadith is telling them, if you find somebody who is an apostate and is dead already, you have to eat him just as it is. Cannibalism. Like, don't cook. Just take his body, cut it, and start eating. And he's explaining. People who understand Somalia, please help me out. I know you're watching. Okay. And he says, you don't need to put him on the fire. No need to cook. No. Eat it raw. Right? With the blood. After Quran chapter 6, verse 145, even forbidding you to eat blood. Now, this is the garbage books again we are talking about. The garbage book will actually go against the Quran to the extent telling you to eat the meat of a human being, your dead brother. Eat the meat. After Quran chapter 49, verse 11, verse 12, forbidding such an act that you detest eating the dead meat of your brother, right? But these hadith books will actually encourage you. And the psychopathic ones are willing to do that. Okay. It says you eat him while the flesh is still wet and raw, like a juicy meat, meaning the person just died not long ago. So you should eat him. Cook and eat such a person. No need to even cook. He didn't say cook in this one. He says when you find him dead, just cut the body into pieces and eat. And he says, and it is also allowed if you are in a fight. So he's telling you from the hadith books, their own books from their scholars, what they have to do, right? And if you are in a fight with an apostate and you injure him, right? You injure him. Listen what he's going to say. It is allowed for you to eat him alive. Like a zombie. Like eat him alive. Okay? Because the apostate is one who lacks innocence and honor. This is their definition from their own garbage books. Okay. Yes. And he said yes. Then he says the exception is the apostate who is paying you tax, which is jizya. The word jizya has multiple meanings. It can be to pay tribute. To pay tribute, homage to somebody doesn't necessarily mean you give money. To give tribute to somebody, it doesn't necessarily mean you take money to give. But Jizya also can mean tax, right? Okay. So then he says the exception is the apostate who is paying you tax. Okay. If he is alive, this apostate who is alive and is paying you tax, no need to kill him. Even if you are dying of hunger. Okay, this is their own books giving them these conditions. And he says you cannot kill him for food, right? You cannot kill him for food because he's paying you tax. Then he says because we are protecting our property. So the one paying the tax is a property. So he's being protected. Like I'm an American citizen who pay tax. Protect. And also for the apostate with whom you have some form of an agreement, you don't need to kill him. He is reading from their own books again, telling you. And the one who is imprisoned, like an apostate who has been imprisoned, is it then allowed to kill and eat such an apostate? He's asking a question. He's asking his audience. And they are confused. So he's laughing at them. He's laughing. No. So now he jumps on to say, the prophet says to you, it is allowed for you. It is allowed for you, the little apostate who has not reached puberty. Listen. And the imprisoned woman, so a little child and the imprisoned woman who is not even a man. Okay. If you are dying of what? Hunger. You can definitely kill them. Meaning kill the child and kill the woman. This is what the scholar is telling you. And eat them to save your life. Eat them to save your life.
الأصح يحل قتل السبي أي الحربي والمرأة الحربيين للأكل باللود لا لغيره. لماذا؟
So we are saying they're the apostates, the murtads, are not among us. This is what the mushriks are telling us. So if you decide not to be a Sunni, a Shia, or whatever, they are saying that you, the one who tried to go out away from Shiism, Sunnism, all the mushrik ideology, you are not among them. So they don't classify part of them. Huh? So then he says they are not real human beings. This is how they classify you when you become an apostate. They don't classify as a real human being. So then he says, so it is obligatory to kill them every time. Huh? That is where we stand. Who? The Sunnis. The extreme Sunnis. That's why you have ISIS, you have Al-Shabaab, you have Boko Haram, all these groups. This is where they get these ideologies, and they can do worse than that, right? So listen. So that is somebody who is respected in Somalia. It's called Sheikh Hassan. He is telling you this. That is where they stand. He agrees with this, and he's telling his audience. So imagine these people, the psychopathic people you are allowing in your countries and to come wherever you are with this ideology. And you having such people as your neighbors. Beware. As for the woman in prison and the child in prison, their blood needs justification to find a reason to kill them. But for the kufr, that is a disbeliever, according to them, for the disbeliever, that justification is there. If the child or the woman is a disbeliever, the kufr, okay? So then you have to kill, right? So you have to kill such a person. So this scholar is a Somalian scholar, it's a Sunni, actually quoting from one of their hadith books and then telling people and approving that and saying we stand with that, telling people to do that, right? And now this video actually circulated around 2021, in the year 2021. You can Google it and then just type the Somalian sheikh who said you can kill apostate. You see the video, you see the news concerning that, right? However, I decided to bring it on my platform, and I'll be quoting some hadith reference to show you some of the things the hadith actually tell people to do, right? And don't be surprised when you see them acting like psychopath, right? So this person just said all this BS, right? Now let's go to the Quran. I take you to Quran chapter 5, verse 54. Let's see what the Quran says, right? Quran chapter 5, verse 54. So I do this. Let me do this. Chapter 5, verse 54. Yeah, and I'll put it on the screen. Yes, so I have it on the screen, where God is talking to the believers, where he says, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu, man yartadda minkum. So the word yartadda is used. This yartadda, if you take the prefix, if you take the ya away, chapter 5, verse 54, if you take the ya away, you put mimu, mim, it becomes murtad. So murtad is somebody who becomes an apostate or reverts away from something. You revert away from a political party, a religion, a cause. You become an apostate to that, subject matter. So the word yartadda in the Quran, if you take the ya, the prefix away, and you put mim, mim dumma, it becomes murtad. So murtad is somebody who is an apostate who has gone. But now let's see the context of this murtad God is talking about. Did God say you have to kill him? Somebody's to kill apostates or something? No. But let's check the verse. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu man yartadda minkum an dinihi. He says, oh, you who believe, whoever among you should revert from his religion. Then God says, فَسَوْفَ يَاتِ اللَّهُ بِقَوْمٍ يُحِبُّهُمْ وَيُحِبُّونَهُ. He says, then God will bring forth a people whom he will love, and they will love him. Then now he says, أَزِلَّةٍ عَلَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ أَعِزَّةٍ عَلَى الْكَافِرِينَ. They will humble to the believers, they will humble to the believers, mighty against the disbelievers. They will strive in the way of God and will not fear the blame of a critic. So then he says what? Yujahiduna fi sabilillahi wala yakhafuna lawmatan la'im. So they will not fear the blame of a critic. So when we say la'im is a critic, lawmat, it means to blame, to criticize. So they will not fear the blame of a critic. Then it continues. ذَلِكَ فَضْلُ اللَّهِ يُؤْتِيهِ مَنْ يَشَاءُ وَاللَّهُ وَاسِعٌ عَلِيمٌ. So God says that is the favor of God. He gives it to whomever he wills. For God is encompassing and omniscient. So this is Quran chapter 5, verse 54, Surah Al-Ma'idah. Now, when you take this surah I'm just reading, God is talking in this verse, oh, you who believe, whoever among you should revert from his religion, meaning to become an apostate from his religion, his faith, then God will bring forth a people whom he will love, and they will love him. They will humble to the believers, mighty against the disbelievers. They will strive in the way of God, and will not fear the blame of a critic. That is the favor of God. He gives it to whomever he wills, for God is encompassing and omniscient. You will never ever find one verse in the Quran where God says, if you decide to go away from your religion, you should be killed. It doesn't exist. If you decide to abandon your faith, you should be sentenced to death. It doesn't exist. If you decide to become an apostate, they should kill you and eat your meat. It doesn't exist in the book of God. Now, the reason why I'm quoting this verse, if you go to Quran chapter 6, verse 114, I put it on the screen, right? Quran chapter 6, verse 114. This is what God says. أَفَغَيْرِ اللَّهِ أَبْتَغِي حَكَمًا وَهُوَ الَّذِي أَنزَلَ إِلَيْكُمُ الْكِتَابَ مُفَصَّلًا وَالَّذِينَ آتَيْنَاهُمُ الْكِتَابَ يَعْلَمُونَ أَنَّهُ مُنَزَّلُ مِنْ رَبِّكَ بِالْحَقِّ فَلَا تَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْمُمْتَرِينَ. So shall I seek a judge other than Allah, while he is the one who has revealed to you the book explained in detail? Shall I seek a judge to judge me, to judge my family, to judge my people around me, other than God? So where did God ask you to kill an apostate? Where did God give you such a condition to go to the extent to eat their meat, to cook them and eat? Where? In the book of God? Hatu bur'anakum. Come and show us the proof. Where? Now it continues, and those to whom we gave the book know that it has been revealed from your Lord in truth. So do not be of the doubters. You have the book of God for judgment. Why go for garbage books? Right? It tells us clearly the ignorant, psychopathic hadithyuuns will stick to their hadith books rather than coming to the Quran. Now, if you go to Quran chapter 2, let me put the verse on the screen. Quran chapter 2, verse 256. Now, this verse is very, very interesting. For those who normally read what normally people will say, Ayatul Kursi, right? I'm going to read chapter 2, verse 250. That's the below that verse, where he says, La ikraha fid din. Then he says, Kattabayyana rushdu min al-gayy. فَمَنْ يَخْفُرُ بِالطَّاغُوتِ وَيُؤْمِنُ بِاللَّهِ فَقَدِ اسْتَمْسَكَ بِالْعُرْوَةِ الْوُثْقَى لَا انْفِصَامَ لَهَا وَاللَّهُ سَمِيعٌ عَلِيمٌ. There is no compulsion in the deen, in the religion. There is no compulsion. So bear that in mind. There is no compulsion in the deen whatsoever. No compulsion at all in the deen. And I'll come to the explanation. You understand what I mean by this. Then God says the right guidance has become clear from the error. So whoever disbelieves in idols and believes in God, then he has held on to a certified bond, which will not break. And God is hearing and omniscient, right? Then verse 257, then he says, Allahu waliyul lazina amanu yukhrijuhum min az-zulumati ila an-nur wal lazina kafaru awliya'uhum at-taghut yukhrijunahum min an-nur ila az-zulumat ulaika ashabun nar hum fiha khalidun. God is the ally of those who believe. He brings them out of darknesses into the light. As for those who have disbelieved, their allies are idols, taghut. They bring them out of the light into the darkness. Those are the companions of the fire. They will be therein eternally. So this verse, when you read from 256, when God says, La ikraha fid din, are you going to force people to become Muslims? Are you a fool? Are you a fool? Somebody is working for you, and all of a sudden they say, hey, boss, I give up. I'm not working for you. I quit. You are going to force him to work for you? How? How? Say, if you don't work for me, I'll kill you. What? Is it by force? Is it by force to become a Sunni Muslim, a Shia Muslim, a Tijaniya Muslim, a Ahmadiyya Muslim? You follow your garbage books. I say I don't need it. To me, it's a garbage. I don't need it. I want to follow the Quran. You call me an apostate. Are you okay in your head? Or do you actually need a doctor? That's why I call them psychopath. Like the Siddiq Bozo who sat publicly to say, oh, this guy is a kafir. Anybody? Now that is a Salafi type of ideology. These people will kill you when they have the chance. I'm serious. Ask people who belong to these extreme zones in the world. They will tell you about this. The slightest chance they get, they will kill you. Because their hadith garbage books tell them to do so. So they are willing to do that. Because Sahih Bukhari has promised them 72 virgins. Why do you need virgins? 72. There is no compulsion in the deen. This is what God says. So as a matter of fact, this is why he asked Prophet Muhammad in Quran chapter 10, verse 99. Look at the question he asked Prophet Muhammad. So God asked Prophet Muhammad in Quran chapter 10, verse 99. Then he says, وَلَوْ شَاءَ رَبُّكَ. He's talking to the Prophet alayhi salam, second person pronoun. وَلَوْ شَاءَ رَبُّكَ. لَآمَنَ مَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ كُلُّهُمْ جَمِيعًا. Then he says, أَفَأَنْتَ تُكْرِهُ النَّاسَ حَتَّى يَكُونُوا مُؤْمِنِينَ. God is asking the Prophet, if your Lord had willed, whoever is on earth would have believed. All of them entirely. That is the will of God. If he had willed, you believe by force without even for him to make an effort. When he told Ibrahim alayhi salam, Aslim, what did Ibrahim say? Aslamtu li Rabbil Alamin. Quran chapter 2, verse 131. Because he wanted him to submit. And Abraham submitted. Because he gave him the chance to submit. And he submitted. If he wanted to force you, you submit by force. Look at the pressure he gave Pharaoh. What did the Pharaoh say? The same chapter, chapter 10, verse 92. Go and read chapter 10, verse 90 to 92. The same chapter, Surah to Yunus. When he gave Pharaoh pressure, Pharaoh waited till he was dying and he said, oh, I believe in one God. I'm a Muslim. And I'm a Muslim. I believe in the God of Banu Israel. Oh, Al-An now? No, God is not going to accept such a repentance. So if God had willed, everyone on earth will have believed, will become a believer by force, if he wanted that way. But he gave us free will. You have a freedom of faith. You don't want to be a Muslim? That's up to you. Who is forcing you? If you like, become an atheist today. It doesn't affect me, babashuaib. It will only affect you because you go back to God. Go and meet the God who brought you to the world. But why kill you for what? To call you an apostate? Kill you for what? Because you don't agree with my views? Are you serious? Huh? Are you serious? So you go and actually kill somebody because they don't agree with your views in your deen. They say, oh, I don't want to be part of this sectarian ideology. Especially out of their foolishness when they go around in their videos tagging somebody who claims to follow the Quran alone for guidance. And then they will tag you, they are apostates, they are kafirs. Look at the foolish mushriks who lacks brains. Bozos. I keep telling you, they are bozos, wallahi lazim. Brain, they don't have it because it has to be reset for them. You have a brain, you follow a book which telling you to breastfeed an adult. Sahih Muslim 3600. Go and check it for yourself. Is claiming that the Prophet told a lady to breastfeed an adult. Rajulun Kabir, to breastfeed an adult. What kind of nonsensical garbage book are you trying to push on people? Is it by force to follow your garbage books? When I have the best book from God, Ahsan al-Hadith, Quran chapter 39, verse 23, why will I waste my time following your foolish books? Now the same book is telling you to kill an apostate and even cook him and eat. And if you want to even eat him raw. Allah mushrikanga. Allah ba'alafia. Mushrikanga. Hey. Quran chapter 10, verse 99. God is asking the Prophet, and if your Lord had willed, whoever is on earth will have believed, all of them entirely. So will you, Muhammad, compel the people until they become believers? Will you do that? Or can you, Muhammad, compel the people until they become believers? Can you do that? So the word used there as a verb is tukrihu. Tukrihu comes from the word La ikraha. This ikraha, there's the same root word. It's compulsion, to compel. So God is saying, La ikraha fid din. You don't force people to believe in what you believe. That is why Quran chapter 18, verse 29, I put it on the screen. In Quran chapter 18, verse 29, God is telling the prophet to say, وَقُلِ الْحَقُّ مِنْ رَبِّكُمْ فَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيُؤْمِنْ وَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيَكْفُرْ. This is God speaking in Quran chapter 18, verse 29. Say, the truth is from your Lord. So whoever wills, let him believe. And whoever wills, let him disbelieve. Out of your foolishness, you go and say, if whoever decides not to be a Muslim, kill him. Are you mad? Are you insane? That's why you are a psychopath. You don't see it? The pedophilia ideology is in your head. Breastfeeding an adult is in your head. Stoning people to kill them is in your head. Somebody says, I don't agree with your religion. You say, we have to kill him. You are bozos. You don't know? Look at what this ideology has made you. It's called mental slavery. You say you are a Sunni Muslim. Another person say he doesn't agree with you. You say, is it by force to believe in your garbage views? This is the Quran speaking to you. He says the truth is from Allah. Whoever wills, let him believe. So if somebody say he doesn't believe, why force somebody? babashuaib, I'm sitting here. If I tell you I'm the richest person on earth, it's a choice. You believe? Oh. You don't believe? Oh. That is the point. So if somebody say, babashuaib, I don't believe you are the richest, then I say, hey, you have to believe or I kill you. Believe me by force. What? Hey, Allah mushrik. Hey, no. Hey, is it by force to believe in the book which claims your prophet married 6 years old girl? I don't believe in such a religion. I don't believe in such a doctrine. So you all of a sudden, hey, you must believe. What? You force people to believe in your religion? Is that what God says? I push a challenge to all your scholars in the world. Let them bring us one verse where God says, if somebody says, I don't believe in the Quran, or I don't believe in the God of the Quran, kill that person. I put the challenge. They should give them one verse. One verse. Where even God says, if somebody insults your prophet in the Quran, kill that person. It doesn't exist. So where are these people getting all these doctrines, these laws? Who is imposing it for you? Look, I'm not sitting here to tell you somebody should insult the prophet. I'm not sitting here telling you somebody should insult the Quran. I'm not sitting here telling you somebody should insult God. But the point is, who are you to fight for God? Do you understand? When Pharaoh was arrogant towards God, was it Moses who fought against Pharaoh? Or was it God himself who dealt with Pharaoh? It was God himself. What did God tell you in the Quran? That if somebody is insulting the verses of God, what do you have to do? God says you should get up and go. He didn't say you should fight. He says, get up and leave. You fight for God. How? How? You can support God. Yes, support. Fine. But you fight what? Oh. So the Quran is giving people the freedom of faith. The truth is from your Lord. Whoever wills, let him believe. Whoever wills, let him disbelieve. Why go to the extent of hating somebody because he says, I don't believe in your religion? I don't believe in your book. You are going to put the book by force in their head or their mouth or their hearts. You pushed it by force. They don't believe. That's it. You say, lakum dinakum waliyadin. It's simple. Allow people to live their life. That is it. But you foolishly want to impose foolish garbage books onto people. Your book is telling you breastfeed an adult. I want to see your scholars' wives. Let them start doing it. Let them go to the masjid and start breastfeeding people. At least some of the sheikhs, they have beautiful wives. So let your wives come out. Start breastfeeding women. Let's see. Let your scholars start marrying 6 years old girls. Let's see if they are men enough. They have the balls. Let us see. You attribute these garbage narrations to your prophet, but your scholars will never agree to be in that position. Now, so we go to the next point. I'm going to quote this hadith. This hadith can be found in Sahih al-Bukhari. I'm going to put it on the screen, right? Sahih al-Bukhari 3017. So I will share the screen. Unfortunately, for those on TikTok, you will not see it. So let me share the screen, and then you get to see this. Where is this? Oh, sorry. Where is it? Yeah, it's here. So this is the hadith on the screen. I hope you can see it, but unfortunately for those on TikTok, you will not see it. Yeah. Awuni Dogo Yaro, I see you. You go Sahih al-Bukhari 3017. Listen to this garbage narration in this book and see what they are going to say from this garbage book. You listen. Now, narrated Ikram from Ali. He says, Ali burnt some people, and this news reached Ibn Abbas, who said, had I been in his place, I would have burnt them, as the Prophet said. Don't punish anybody, or don't punish with Allah's punishment. Meaning, don't punish like the way God will punish people. But then you just said Ali burnt some people. If Ali burnt some people, and then again you are saying the Prophet said nobody should punish with the punishment of God. So if you claim God is going to burn people, why did Ali punish people by burning them when the Prophet actually says nobody should burn people? Now I'm going to show you the heebie-jeebies in their books. I'll read from the Arabic. You see the heebie-jeebies they have in their books. Then it says, no doubt I would have killed them, for the Prophet said, listen, for the Prophet said, if somebody discards his religion, kill him. This is Sahih al-Bukhari 3017. This is the books of the people you are neighboring with. Your neighbors, the Sunnis, the Shias, these are the books they are upholding. Sahih al-Bukhari 3017. Telling you, because they believe in this book more than the Quran. Wallahi lazim. I can vow to God and tell you they venerate this book more than the Quran. To them, the Quran is just a book of singing. Like singing, R&B. Just sing and enjoy. That's that for them. They don't follow anything from the Quran. Wallahi. They don't follow anything. No mushrik on earth follows anything from the Quran. So don't think, look, when I see people going out there say, let's burn the Quran, let's burn the Quran, you are wasting your time, because the people you are trying to burn the Quran against, they don't study the Quran. Why burn the book? People don't study it. Go and take the garbage books. You know the garbage books? The Sahih al-Bukhari, the Sahih Muslim, Jamia Tirmidhi, Sunan Abu Dawud, Abin Nisa. These are the books you should be burning. Why waste your time burn a book they don't study? Why waste your time burn a Quran they don't even read to understand? Why? Leave the Quran alone. Go for the books which is actually giving them the pedophilia idea. The books which is telling them to kill people. The books which is telling them to breastfeed adults. The book which is telling them to stone people to death. The book which is making them act like monkeys. Go for those books and burn them. Stop wasting your time with the Quran. What has the Quran done? The Quran doesn't propagate this kind of ideologies. It is just a misconception, because the sectarians are telling you you cannot understand the Quran without their garbage books. So it is the garbage books they are using to influence these ideologies, but you don't know. You thought the Quran is the one telling people to go and kill, to go and rape, to go and do this. No. Quran has given you the leverage, the freedom to believe or disbelieve. Quran is not forcing anybody to believe. No, I just showed you the verses. God was even questioning the Prophet. Can you even force the people to believe? Is it by force? Somebody doesn't believe in your religion. Are you going to force them? To the extent this psychopathic scholar from Somalia sitting down telling people you can kill an apostate and burn him and then cook him and then fry him and then eat him raw. Hey! Are these not psychopaths among people? So this is the hadith book. You see this part. This part, where I'm going to show you the part of the yes, it says here, don't punish. It says, I will have burnt them, as the prophet said. Don't punish with Allah's punishment. So that is the part here. Qala, here, Nabiya, Qala, la tu'azzibu bi azabillah. So do not punish with the punishment of God. Then he says what? Wala kataltuhum kama qala an-nabiyyu man baddala dinahu faqtuluhu. This is what the Arabic says. Man baddala dinahu faqtuluhu. According to the hadith, he says, whoever substitutes or changes or discards or abandons his religion, you should kill him. Sahih al-Bukhari 3017. This is what this book is actually exhorting you to do. To kill somebody who actually changes his religion. So I want to ask you, if somebody is a Sunni Muslim and he decides to change to become a Shia Muslim, are you going to kill him? Because your hadith book says you should do it. Sahih al-Bukhari. It is Sahih al-Bukhari. It's telling you whoever changes his deen. The word badala means to change, to substitute. So whoever changes his religion, according to your garbage book, you are saying the prophet said it. So the prophet said you should kill him. And we are based in Ghana. Look, a lot of Ghanaians, we have Shia, there's Tijaniya, there's Ahmadiyya, there's Sunni. Some of them have left Sunni to become Tijaniya. Some of Tijaniyas have left Tijaniya to become Sunnis. Some of Shias have left Shia to become Sunnis. Some of the Sunnis have left Sunni to become Shias. Are you going to kill them? I don't see you killing each other. Start doing that. So how come now somebody who decided not to be a Muslim, you want to kill him? Are you in your right senses? Where did God give you such a legislation? So you take this garbage book to override the Quran? If you are in your right senses, will you do that? Or is it just because you don't study your own books? Afala ta'qilun. So this is your own hadith book. Sahih al-Bukhari 3017, telling you that the prophet said whoever changes the religion, you have to kill him. I'm not saying it. Your book says it. And your scholars endorse it. They are saying, they are even calling, we're the one who says the Quran is enough. They are calling us hadith rejectors. Look at the foolishness of their scholars again. Hadith rejectors? Or you are rather rejecting your hadith? Because I don't see you killing your relatives who have left Sunni to join Shia, who has left Shia to join Tariqa to Tijani. I don't see you killing yourselves. Start killing. You say your prophet married 6 years old girl. Start marrying 6 years old girls. Let's see. There is stoning to death for zina. Go to Ghana. Go to the Muslim communities in Ghana. Go and see how much zina they are doing there. How much zina? Stone each other to death. Let's see. Start stoning from Ghana. Let's see. Your book says you should breastfeed an adult. Okay, maybe people don't believe. Let me show them on the screen. Let me show you the verse of breastfeeding an adult in the hadith book. Right? So that you know I'm serious with this. Sahih Muslim 3600. It says, it was narrated that Aisha said, Sahla bint Suhail came to the Prophet and said, O Messenger of God, I see on the face of Abu Hudayfa when Salim, who was his ally, came in. The Prophet said, breastfeed him. She said, how can I breastfeed him? He is a grown man. He is a grown man. The messenger of Allah smiled and said, I know that he is a grown man. Amr added in his hadith, He was one of those who had been present at Badr. In the report of Ibn Abi Umar, the messenger of God laughed. So the messenger of God was laughing at the lady when he told her to breastfeed an adult. This is Sahih. This book is Sahih. Sahih. Oh, let me play Zakir Naik's video. You listen, Sahih, how they classify their own Sahih books. Let me play. You hear it from your own scholars. Let me play. Where is the video? Zakir Naik, right? Where is he? Zakir Naik, where are you? Where are you? Let me play your video so that people will know what kind of demons are around. So I'm going to show you how they classify their hadith books, right? Here. Let me remove this. So listen carefully, the classification of Sahih hadith.
There are basically 5 criteria for hadith to be sahih. Number 1, the narrator should be of a good character. Number 2, of good memory. Number 3, there should be continuity in the chain of narrator. The sanad should be there. Number 4, there should not be irregularities or flaws. Number 5, it should not contradict any other sound hadith. If all these 5 criteria are met, it is called a sahih hadith. If there is a slight flaw in any of these, then the hadith becomes hasan, but it is accepted. It is maqbool.
So now, after going all these 5 criteria, so they classify an hadith for you to be sahih. So this sahih hadith I'm reading, Sahih Muslim, the breastfeeding of an adult. If you say I'm lying, this is the Arabic version. I'm going to show you on the screen. Here, it says, فَقَالَ النَّبِيُّ أَرْضِيهِ. This ardihi, if you read from English, this from here, the Arabic says, فَقَالَ النَّبِيُّ ardihi, meaning breastfeed him. Then the woman says, قالت. The woman is saying, قالت. وَكَيْفَ أَرْضِيُّهُ? How can I breastfeed him? Then she says, فَهُوَ رَجُلٌ كَبِيرٌ, while he is a grown-up man. He's a grown man. رَجُلٌ كَبِيرٌ. How can I do that? Then what happened was, then he says, فَتَبَسَّمَ Rasulullahi. And then the prophet, he says the messenger was even laughing at her, he smiled at her. Then he says, وَقَالَ, then he said, قَدْ عَلِمْتُ أَنَّهُ رَجُلٌ كَبِيرٌ. He says, certainly, I know he is a what? He is a grown man. This is Sahih Muslim 3600. Telling a woman to breastfeed an adult in your own books. And this is Sahih Muslim. You believe this? Then start breastfeeding. Let all your women start breastfeeding adults. Let's see. We are waiting. We are in the age of smartphones. We will record it, Papa. It will be on YouTube and TikTok and everywhere. Start breastfeeding. Let's see. We don't see your scholars exhorting women to do that. Do it. So I was showing you the hadith where it says you should kill anybody who changes their religion. So I want you to take that hadith. It's Sahih al-Bukhari 3017. Write it down. Don't forget. Write it down. Ask any of your scholars when you go to the masjid. Ask them that, hey, scholar, the hadith is saying, Man baddala dinahu, faqtuluhu, faqtuluhu. You should kill him. Whoever changes his religion. So if you have a Sunni Muslim who becomes a Shia Muslim, according to your hadith, you should kill him. If you have a Shia Muslim who changes to Tijaniya Muslim, according to your hadith, kill him. If you have a Tijaniya Muslim who changes to become Ahmadiyya, you have to kill him. Ask your scholars and see what they will start telling you. The nonsensical excuses they will start giving you. And yet they will tell you this garbage book explains the Quran. Foolishness. I call them bozos. You think I'm insulting them? Let them step forward and see. Now, there is a reason why I chose the topic, the psychopathic hadithyuuns, to show you how much of psychopathic ideologies they have in their head. There's a mental disorder, but they have not been diagnosed yet. And this is some of the mental disorder I'm showing you. And that's why the ignorance among them are very extreme. And they are being backed by their foolish scholars. The correctional officer is out for you. You will learn by force. Okay, we go to the next point. I've done 1 hour, 10 minutes. Okay, let me quote the last this thing, then we go. So we go to Quran chapter 6. Quran chapter 6, verse 112. And I'm going to show you who are the enemies of the Prophet, right? The real enemies are the hadithiyuuns. Wallahi lazim. Anybody who follows hadith books, they are the real enemies of the Prophet. They are the ones who claim he married 6 years old girl. They are the ones who write all these garbage lies against him and say he said somebody should breastfeed an adult. So Quran chapter 6 verse 112. وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَا لِكُلِّ نَبِيٍّ عَدُوًّا شَيَاطِينَ الْإِنسِ وَالْجِنِّ يُوحِي بَعْضُهُمْ قَوْلَ الْغُرُورَ. Then he says, وَلَوْ شَاءَ رَبُّكَ مَا فَعَلُوهُ فَذَرْهُمْ وَمَا يَفْتَرُونَ. So God says, and thus have we made enemies for every prophet. Every prophet had enemies, right? Even Jesus, Moses, they all had enemies. Devils of humans and jinns, inspiring to each other the decoration of delusive statements. Just like the hadith books. They are delusive. They are delusional books. They are there to delude you, right? There's nothing important in those books, right? So he says, and thus have we made enemies for every prophet, devils of humans, and jinns, inspiring to each other the decoration of delusive statement, because they are the ones who decorate it. And then they say, this is sahih, this is da'if, this is hasan, this is mubah, this is qudsi, this is this. That's decoration. Yeah. You don't know decoration? Yes. That's decoration. Yes. And if your Lord had willed, they will not have done it. So there is a reason why God left that room for them to do these stupid things. Because he knows the wise ones like us, we will not follow book of breastfeeding an adult. You know, right? God knows. People like me, he knows I will not accept the book of marrying a 6-year-old girl. He knows I will not accept a book of breastfeeding an adult. He knows I will not accept a book of stoning people to death. He knows I will not accept a book of telling me my prophet slept with 11 women in one night. Come on, not even somebody with Viagra can do that. And if your Lord had willed, they would not have done it. So leave them. Leave those garbage. That's why I call them garbage books. Leave them. Whatever is a garbage, you leave it. You abandon it. That's garbage. So leave them and what they fabricate. Right? I know the foolish ones among them will always defend these garbage books, thinking that there are wisdom in such books. Right? The foolish ones, because if they are wise, they will not defend such garbage books. Then chapter 6, verse 113, you go forward. Then he says, well, وَلِتَصْغَى إِلَيْهِ آفِدَةُ الَّذِينَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْآخِرَةِ وَلِيَرْدَوْهُ وَلِيَقْتَرِفُوا مَا هُمْ مُقْتَرِفُونَ. So that the minds of those who do not believe in the hereafter will incline to it. To what? To the decoration of delusive statement. They will incline to such books in order to approve it, and they are the ones who approve it. If you ask any mushrik out there, was it the Prophet who approved Sahih Bukhari books? The answer is no. Was it the Prophet who approved Sahih Muslim? No. Was it the Prophet who approved all your garbage books? The answer is no. So what did God say? So that the minds of those who do not believe in the hereafter will incline to it in order to approve it, yardahu, and to commit what they are committing. وَلِيَقْتَرِفُوا مَا هُمْ مُقْتَرِفُونَ. So are you surprised they are stoning people to death? Are you surprised they are killing apostates? Are you surprised? They are trying to sleep with 6-year-old girls, 7-year-old girls? You think I'm joking, right? Oh, investigate. Go online and Google. A lot of the sectarian mushriks, they sleep with young girls, try to rape kids. Yes. Okay. So this is how to know the enemies of the Prophet. They are the enemies. They decorate the delusive statements against the Prophet and they approve it themselves, not the Prophet approving it. Wallahi, there is no scholar on earth who can show you one approval from the Prophet himself. That is why anytime they are narrating their garbage books, they will say on the authority of Abu Huraira, on the authority of Abu Sufyan, or on the authority of Abu Fulan, Abu Fulan, Abu Fulan. That's all. You will never hear on the authority of the Prophet. I put a challenge to them. Let them come and sit with me and show me where it says on the authority of the Prophet, you have to write these garbage books. Mushrikan Banza. Let's move forward. Now, so away with the mushriks. We don't need them. And also about burning people and killing people. Sahih al-Bukhari 3016. Write it down and check it. It's claiming they should kill people who, about killing people who change their religion or who become apostates. So check it. This is what their book is propagating people to do. So beware of them. So I quote the last verse, then I move on to question and answer section. Quran chapter 6, verse 137. This is what actually happens, right? If you go to Quran chapter 6, verse 137, and God says, and likewise it is adorned to many of the idolaters, that is the mushriks, their idols, killing their children in order to revert them and confuse them in their religion. Yes, many of the mushriks, this is what is happening to them. It is their idols who are killing their children in order to revert them and confuse them in their religion. And if God had willed, they would not have done it. So leave them and what they fabricate. Do you hear what God's telling you? Leave them. That's why I'm leaving these mushriks. I don't need you. I don't need your religion. You can stand far away and be in pain and say, oh, he's a Quraniyun, he's a Quranalone, he's a quranist, he's a hadithrejector. You keep calling me names. I'll call you a mushrik. And that's why you are agitated, you are frustrated, you are infuriated, you are perplexed, flabbergasted, and you are a bozo. So I was asked this question. Let's move on. I was asked a question by one sister. She said, sorry, I have to read an article. Let me read an article here. I found an article online. Please, pardon me. Let me read this article, right? It's important. I need to read this article. I found this article online. I don't know if I can put it on the screen and then share with you. Then I read. I found it interesting that I found online. But let me see if I can maximize it and share it. Can you see it well enough? Yes, you can see it. It says apostates can be killed for food or organ transplant. IS, Islamic State, says. Documents reportedly captured from the Islamic State and circulated by the US government include what appears to be an official fatwa. When we say fatwa, it's a legal opinion. A fatwa authorizing the killing of apostates, that is the murtads, right? For food or organ transplants. Now, this source of news I'm reading comes from who? Let me show you the source of where this information comes from, so that you don't think I'm just making story up, right? The source comes from what? The article by Brian Whitaker. It was written on the 28th of December, 2015, right? When I conducted my research on this news was authentic. So you can Google this writer up. Is Brian Whitaker. He wrote it on the 28th of December, 2015. So let me maximize it again and I read it for you. So he says, according to the US government translation, IS, Islamic State Research and Fatwa Committee was asked to consider whether it is permissible to take the captured apostates' body organs and give them to Muslims who are in need of them. The committee's reply, issued last January as Fatwa number 68, was as follows. Saving a Muslim from death or deterioration is an Islamic legal duty that should be performed with every legitimate way or financial means. The jurists of the Shafi'i and Hanbali schools and others permitted, when necessary, the killing of the infidel, combatant, or the apostate should one need to consume their flesh for the purpose of saving his own life? Just as the scholar from Somalia was saying, right? You see, it is being confirmed by the Islamic states. If the jurists had permitted, when necessary, the consumption of human flesh as a means to counter death or harm, then it is even more appropriate to transplant organs from the apostate to save the life of the latter. This is especially the case since it was ruled that the apostate's life and organs are not protected. On the contrary, the apostate's life and organs don't have to be respected and may be taken with impunity. Killing an apostate by removing body parts for use in transplant is not prohibited, it said. The document is reported to be one of many seized by U.S. Special Forces during a raid in Syria last May, which resulted in the death of a senior IS official known as Abu Sayyaf. According to Reuters, the U.S. has since shared some of the documents with its allies in an effort to shore up support for countering IS. Reuters report continues. Iraqi's ambassador to the United Nations, Mohammed Ali Al-Hakim, told Reuters the documents should be examined by the UN Security Council as evidence that Islamic State could be trafficking in organs to raise cash. In February, Al-Hakim had urged the UN Security Council to investigate the deaths of 12 doctors in the Islamic State held city of Mosul. Al-Hakim said the doctors were killed after refusing to remove organs. At the time, the United Nations promised to investigate further, but has so far not produced any report. The apparent leaking of Fatwa 68 may thus be viewed as an attempt to prod the UN into action. Setting aside the unanswered question of whether IS has actually been taking the body parts of alleged apostates, it's worth considering how IS arrived at the ruling set out in Fatwa 68. And it goes on and on. You can find the article online and read it, and it's an authentic source by Brian Whitaker. And this is some of the alarming aspects I'm just proving to you about how the indoctrination from these hadith books have actually gotten the people to become psychopaths. I'm serious. Psychopaths. And that's why some of them, you see them online when they come, hey, yeah. Anyways, I'm from Nima, so those things don't threaten me. I'm a Nima boy, right? So those things don't threaten me. Yeah. Anyways, let's move forward. So I've been asked a question by a sister. She says, let me see. She says, why do we Muslims behave like Allah lives in Mecca? Why do we Muslims behave like God lives in Mecca? As a matter of fact, God doesn't live in Mecca. No, he doesn't live there. It is not his, his residence. He doesn't live there. And I will answer that question. Yeah, salam, Sister Benish, I see you. And then she says, and that dua, supplications that are made in Masjid al-Haram are more likely to be answered. This is what the mainstream traditional Muslims actually assume to be. They think God is based in Mecca, right? And then they think supplication made in Masjid al-Haram is more likely to be answered. If that is the case, all the mushriks at that time their prayers will have been answered during the time of the Prophet when they were there. Any Quranic basis for this? So that is the first question. Number one, God does not live in Mecca, right? So I'm just going to eradicate the misconception. Sometimes it's just a misunderstanding of the way people think the verses are speaking. So they think, oh, that means God is based over there. No, that is not the point. Okay, I give an example. So let's take Surah Al-Quraysh. When you take Surah Al-Quraysh, I put it on the screen, Surah Al-Quraysh. When you take Surah Al-Quraysh, it says, for the pact of the Qurayshis, their pact is a trip of the winter and the summer. Ri'lata shita, it was saif, right? That's the winter and the summer. To let them worship the Lord of this house. To let them worship the Lord of this house. We are talking about Masjid al-Haram. The Lord, listen, the Lord of this house. Because وَأَنَّ الْمَسَاجِدَ لِلَّهِ فَلَا تَدْعُ مَعَ اللَّهِ أَحَدًا. Chapter 72, verse 18. The masjids, the mosques, they belong to God. They are dedicated to God. You build mosque in order to, call on God. That is the place of masjid, the place of worship. So the masjid, the Masjid al-Haram at the time of Muhammad, the Masjid al-Haram based there, they are calling people to guidance. So that is the place also they use as their Qibla and they call on God. Quran chapter 2 verse 144, right? So let the people of the Qurayshi worship the Lord of this house. That's the masjid. Just as Ibrahim alayhi salam, Quran chapter 14 verse 37, read down was, that's where he was based and he raised the foundation of the masjid, right? Who has fed them from hunger and secured them what? From fear. So now the main instance, one of the instances is فَلْيَعْبُدُوا رَبَّ هَذَا الْبَيْتِ, the Lord of this house. Okay. When we say this house, we are talking about the masjid. Quran chapter 72 verse 18, God says, وَأَنَّ الْمَسَاجِدَ لِلَّهِ فَلَا تَدْعُوا مَعَ اللَّهِ أَحَدًا. And the masjids, all the masjids belong to God. So do not invoke on anyone, do not call anyone along with God. It is a shirk to do that. Okay, so now the question the sister asked is, she said, why do Muslims, or I would say traditional Muslims or mainstream Muslims, why do they behave like God lives in Mecca? God does not live in Mecca. Actually, God is everywhere with you, wherever you are. He's with you, wherever you are. So I'm going to put the verse on the screen, right? He's wherever you are, he's with you, right? So chapter 57, and I take you to verse 4. So let me put the verse on the screen. Sorry, I share it. Just a second. Wherever you are, God is with you. In Quran chapter 57, verse 4, he is the one who created the heavens and the earth in 6 days, and then sat firmly on the throne. He knows whatever penetrates into the earth and whatever comes out of it, and whatever descends from the heaven and whatever ascends therein. And he is with you wherever you may be. And God is cognizant of whatever you do. So this God you are serving is with you wherever you are. Wherever you are, God is with you. So how can God be based in Saudi Arabia or Mecca? You claim God is in Saudi Arabia. No, God does not base there, right? And neither is it that if you are based there, it means, according to the question the sister asked, she says, and that supplications which are made in the Masjid al-Haram, that is the sacred mosque, are more likely to be answered. No, God never said, if you are there, that is where I will answer your supplication. This is what God says in Quran chapter 2, verse 186. Is it 86? Yes. God says in Quran chapter 2, verse 186, and whenever my servants ask you about me, that is God, then indeed I am near. Because remember, he is with you wherever you may be. Quran chapter 57, verse 4. God is already with you wherever you are. Even if you are in the bathroom. Yeah, the bathroom, he's there. In the toilet also, right? Everywhere. It's like saying, God is off duty. When you go to the toilet, he's not there. So he will stand at the door waiting for you. So finish toilet and then he will join. What? He's with you everywhere. Remember, the soul you have, the spirit, he blew it into you. He is connected to the spirit. For people who know electricity, right? Electricity, you create a circuit and then you extend it to a transformer. Then the transformer will pass it over to other circuits, right? Now, the main source of the electricity, even though it is based in another city, it is already connected by the circuits up to the transformer. Then the transformer will now transform the electricity to other zones. Now, even though the main station of the electricity is based in another city, that same electricity is the one giving the supply in another city. So it can be over there, but its supply is still with you there. Do you understand? This is just an example I'm giving. So God is with you everywhere, wherever you are, in the water, in the sky, be wherever you want to be, God is there. So God is not based in Saudi Arabia. To think that you have to go to Saudi Arabia before God will listen. As a matter of fact, Hajj is not compulsory. Quran chapter 3 verse 97. God says, وَلِلَّهِ عَلَى النَّاسِ حِجُّ الْبَيْتِ مَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ إِلَيْهِ سَبِيلًا. It is not by force. For whoever has the means to eat, you have the capability to eat, then you go to Hajj. It is not by force. It doesn't mean you go to Hajj and go to Masjid al-Haram before God will answer your prayer. No. Before Abraham actually raised the foundations, where was Noah? Where was Hud? Where was Salih? Did they go to that place? Did they pray in Masjid al-Haram? Where was Adam? Where was Cain and Abel? Did they go to pray there for God to answer their prayers? No. Do you understand me? I'm not against Saudi Arabia. Neither am I against Masjid al-Haram. But if you have the mindset that God is based there, you are a fool. God is everywhere you are. So Quran chapter 2 verse 186. And whenever my servants ask you about me, then indeed I am near. I answer the supplication of a supplicant when he invokes me. So let them respond to me and let them believe in me. Perhaps they will be well guided. So God is with you wherever you are. It's near. Right? If you are based in China, he's there. Are you in Ghana? Yes, he is there. Where are you? He is there. You can be hiding. He can see you. He's there. So don't think you have to be in China, Saudi Arabia, Masjid al-Haram for you to pray before God answer you. That's foolishness. You are the biggest fool. I'm serious. If you are out there thinking that God is based in Masjid al-Haram, so that is where you pray for God to answer you, you are a fool. I'm serious. Okay, so the sister is asking, she says, any Quranic basis for this? No Quranic basis. It's just the people just want to follow their whims and desires. That's it. No Quranic basis. If not, how did it emerge? It emerged by the perception. Remember, Quran chapter 6, verse 116. This is what God advised us. Quran chapter 6, verse 116. God says, وَإِن تُطِعْ أَكْثَرَ مَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ يُضِلُّوكَ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ إِنْ يَتَّبِعُونَ إِلَّا ظَنًّا وَإِنْ هُمْ إِلَّا يَخْرُصُونَ. And if you obey most of those on earth, they will mislead you from the way of God. They only follow assumption and they are only guessing. So what happens is, the sister is asking, she said, how did it emerge? It emerged by the mainstream, the people. You just obey them. They have assumptions. It's an opinionated type of people you are following in this world. These people are just opinionated people, right? They have no clue what is going on. If right now you see anybody who hates babashuaib, you ask them about hadith, they are not learned. They don't know about hadith. They will hate me because they see me talking about hadith. Meanwhile, they can see their scholars actually venerating hadith. So they automatically will have hatred for me. Quran chapter 43 verse 78. We have brought you the truth, but most of you hate the truth. So people who hate the truth will eventually hate you, the speaker of the truth. This is the point. So whatever they are claiming, saying that Masjid al-Haram, God lives in Mecca, or God, we have to supplicate in Masjid al-Haram before God listening to us, that's a lie. No. The answer is often it is from the hadith. Yes, they will keep telling you hadith, always hadith. Their hadith always overrides the Quran. When you talk to them physically, consciously they will tell you, no, the Quran is superior. But subconsciously, they always give reference to hadith over the Quran. Many of us want to know how these stories emerged and who propagated them. Yes, it is just from the hearsays. When we say hearsay, there is no evidence. Hearsay, always no evidence. So people hear and say what they hear, they say what they hear, they say. I'm from Ghana. I'm from Nima. Usually where I'm based at, where I come from in Nima, for people who are from Ghana, they will tell you this. The Hausa speaking people, and even the Akans, those who speak Twi in Ghana, you just be there with somebody, then you say, oh, Naji Anche Kasa Mukudio, Naji Anche Kasa Lori. Oh, I heard that you bought a car. Oh, Matisse when you're scow, Matisse when you're car, Matisse, Atisem. So I have heard. Oh, Naji, Charlie Naji Kasa Lori. Enakaji, Chikinska. How can you hear I bought a car? Where did you hear? From the sky? The air speaking to you? How? So the one who told you about a car, why didn't he prove to you? Give you the evidence. So this is what people are about. Always opinionated, assumption, guessing, that's all. You ask somebody, is there 5 prayers in the Quran? Yeah, I think so. He will say, yeah, I think so. You say, prove to me. He says, oh, brother, you know me, I don't know about Islam. I follow my sheikh. I'm going to see my sheikh. I come back. Right? I come back tomorrow and give you. You never see him again because the sheikh doesn't have the answer. And then the sheikh will say, hey, avoid that people. They are Quraniyun. They will turn you into disbeliever. Avoid them. Yeah, this mushrik said. Mushrikanga. Okay. So that is a question from the sister. Then she says, can you tell us, inshallah? So I just did. I just give the answer. Sister Muslima, if you're watching, that is your answer to the question. Now, let me read some comments before I go on to the next question. Mohammed Gaddafi says, we are coming out of stupid, traumatic, and getting into logical understanding. I appreciate that. Thank you. Prince Abdul says, please, can you say something about the lady killed in Sokoto in Nigeria? I have a video on it, right? I actually did a video on it. Yeah, I spoke about it. I think I have it in one of the, it says know your religion. Also, I have it on my YouTube. I spoke of it. I made a full lecture on it, right? So Prince Abdul, if you're on my Facebook, kindly send me an inbox. I'll send you the link later on. I have the link on my YouTube channel, right? If you don't know my YouTube channel, this is let me put the banner here. This is my YouTube channel. You go to www.youtube.com/bush2g9 bush2g9 or the correctional officer. You find me with this logo. This logo, you find me there, right? So then we have what am I missing? Okay, for those on TikTok, what did I miss? Let me see. What did I miss? Super Soul 1288 says, if I may ask, what is most important thing in our religion, Islam? The most important thing is found in Quran chapter 98 verse 5, where God says, وَمَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ هُنَفَاءَ وَيُقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَيُؤْتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَذَلِكَ دِينُ الْقَيِّمَةِ. That completes your deen. So you have to sincerely dedicate your religion truthfully to God alone. That is number 1. Number 2, you have to establish salat. That is number 2. Number 3, you have to give the zakat. So that completes a valuable religion. That is the most important aspect of your deen, right? Lucky Drachan says, what is bozo, please? Bozo means an incompetent fool. That is bozo. It's B-O-Z-O, bozo, right? Bozo. So it means an incompetent fool. Somebody who is a fool is a bozo or a freak. So Mamour Toure says, you don't understand the wisdom about those hadiths. Just have a manner. This is a confused mushrik again. I don't understand what wisdom in these garbage books. What wisdom do you get in breastfeeding an adult? Foolish mushriks. Bandwidth says, I have noticed that hikmah and the book are two different things, yet close. Both are sent down, but Allah wills anyone to receive hikmah. You find hikmah in the book, right? There's something we call hendiadis. Hendiadis meaning, okay, let me put it on the screen here. I put it here. I'm answering this person's question. Bandwidth says something. I want to address that, right? So let me share the screen here. This is what we call hendiadis. Hendiadis is what? Use of two conjoined nouns instead of a noun and modifier, right? So conjoined nouns, you use two nouns together, right? So this is how it works. So for instance, if you take Quran chapter 2, verse 231. Verse 231, there's something I want to show you in this verse, right? Yeah, I want to show you something in this verse. Here, if you go to Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, verse 231, here, in this verse, it's talking about when you divorce women and they have reached their term, then you can keep them in kindness or let them go in kindness. But do not keep them illicitly in order to trespass. For whoever does that, then he has wronged his soul. And do not take the verses of God as a joke. Verses of God are not to be taken as a joke. But of course, the hadith books, I can take them as a joke. You know, they are not from God. Yeah? But remember the blessings of God upon you and that which he has which has been revealed to you of the book and the wisdom by which he admonished you. Now, what I want you to see is bandwidth. I want you to pay attention to this verse. I'm going to scroll and put the Arabic version there. So he says, by which he admonishes you, and beware of God and know that God is aware of all things. Now, in the Arabic version, this is what I want you to see. Check the Arabic version clearly. I'm going to highlight it. Here, God says, وَاذْكُرُوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ. Then he says, وَمَا أَنزَلَ عَلَيْكُمْ مِنَ الْكِتَابِ وَالْحِكْمَةِ. Then here, then it continues. وَالْحِكْمَةِ. Then it goes here. يَئِذُكُمْ بِهِ. This is what I want you to see. يَئِذُكُمْ بِهِ. He didn't say bihima or bihuma. No. Ya'izukum bihi. He didn't say bihima. It's not talking about two things. So this is what I call hendiadis. Hendiadis is the what? Is the use of two conjoined nouns instead of a noun and a modifier. So these two conjoined nouns here, it says min al-kitab wal hikmah. These are two nouns. Kitab is a hikmah, is a noun, and then hikmah is a noun, right? So by this al-kitab and the al-hikmah, God says ya'izukum bihi, because you find the al-hikmah inside the kitab, so it becomes one like this. Al-kitab, you find al-hikmah inside the al-kitab, so it becomes one. So God, in his infinite wisdom, he used the word ya'izukum bihi. He didn't say bihima. And this bihi is a masculine pronoun. It's used in a pronoun aspect, a masculine pronoun. Right? If it is a feminine pronoun, he will say biha. That is a feminine pronoun. But a masculine pronoun, singular, bihi. So one. So because you find the hikmah inside the al-kitab. So God says, by which he admonishes you. He admonishes by it. Do you see? So bandwidth, this is an explanation for you. Pay attention to the verse. You can see that aspect. Where he says, وَاذْكُرُوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ وَمَا أَنزَلَ عَلَيْكُمْ مِنَ الْكِتَابِ وَالْحِكْمَةِ. Then he says, يَئِذُكُمْ bihi. You see? So you find the al-hikmah inside the al-kitab, so it becomes hendiadis. It's just one, even though it's found in the same book, right? So let's go. What did I miss? I'm almost bringing the topic to an end. I have like 15 minutes. Then I go, right? If you ask me what is my understanding on zakat, my understanding on zakat is found in Quran chapter 92, verse 18 to verse 20. Verse 20. Right? My understanding of zakat start from chapter 92, verse 17 to verse 20, where it says, وَسَيَجَنَّبُهَا الْأَتْقَى الَّذِي يُؤْتِي مَالَهُ يَتَزَكَّى وَمَا لِأَحَدٍ عِندَهُ مِنْ نِعْمَةٍ تُجْزَى إِلَّا ابْتِغَاءَ وَجْهِ رَبِّهِ أَعْلَى. So the verse says, but the most pious will shield from it, who gives his wealth in order to purify. الَّذِي يُؤْتِي مَالَهُ يَتَزَكَّى. You give wealth, you give money to the poor and the needy and the wayfarer in order to purify yourself, right? That is zakah. وَمَا لِأَحَدٍ إِنْدَهُ مِنْ نِعْمَةٍ تُجْزَى. And not for someone next to him to repay with a favor. So you are not giving the money to help the poor because you need a favor from somebody. This is my understanding of zakah. Why am I doing it? إِلَّا ابْتِغَاءَ وَجْهِ رَبِّهِ الْأَعْلَى. Except seeking the countenance of his Lord, the highest. So that is why, that is my understanding of zakat, right? Okay, if you believe that, no problem. That is your belief. That's no problem. James Oliver says, Buhari believes the Prophet had sexual relations with all 9 wives in one night. Yes, Buhari believes that. That is Buhari's religion. I don't belong to that religion. Yeah. I belong to the religion of God. Quran chapter 3, verse 19. Inna dina inda Allahi Islam. The submission. That is the religion of God. That is what I belong to. But that garbage one, no, I don't belong to that. Okay, so what am I missing? What did I miss? I'm almost bringing the topic to an end. Let me see. What did I miss? Abubakar Abdul Jalil Janjini. Yes, I have a video on it. If you go to my YouTube, go to the Zakat series. I have a playlist. Check the playlist. You see Zakat series. I have a video on that, right? What did I miss? Balogo Laika Yusuf says, just like your shadow follow you everywhere you go. Balogun, your shadow doesn't follow you everywhere. Not everywhere. If you are in the dark, the shadow doesn't exist there. So shadows cannot follow you everywhere. I beg. Not everywhere. Shadow follow you by only when there's a light. If there's no light, shadow, you don't have a shadow anymore. You see, So may Allah guide you and we follow. Yeah, thank you very much. Abubakar Muhammad Tijana, I appreciate that. Bilal Jibril, I see you. Yes. Says, much love to you. Respect. I appreciate that. What did I miss? Tikas Adams, Naganka Salam. Yes. Abdul Samad, thank you. I appreciate that. I see you all. Thank you all. Wahid Abula Saka Salam, I see you. Patra says, when you find a new country, you have to invent a culture and legal jurisprudence. B Ansari, yes, I see you. Salam. Yeah, more blessings to you, Muhammad Gaddafi. I appreciate that. Somebody is asking a question. He says, do you have any lecture on Quran chapter 33 verse 6 and the black stone at the Kaaba? I want education on the above. There is no black stone in the Quran. There's nothing like black stone from Kaaba in the Quran. It doesn't exist. It's from the Hadith books, not from the Quran. It's not even part of Islam, right? And as for Quran chapter 33 verse 36, let's check. It is from 33 verse 6 to verse 7, right? Let me see. Okay, chapter 33 verse 6. Let me put it on the screen, right? And then we answer your question on that. I'm bringing the topic to an end very soon. Let me see. What did I miss on TikTok? Thank you very much, Lucky Drechan. I love you too. Thanks for the support. I appreciate that. Yeah, Salam Hassan. I see you. Hassan, brother Hassan, I see you. So when you go to Quran chapter 33 verse 6, it says, and the prophet is more devoted to the believers than themselves, because he is the leader, so he has to be devoted to them. Just if you are a leader, you have to be devoted to your people. Just like a parent, if you are a parent, you have to be devoted to your kids than themselves, because sometimes we as parents, we take the risk of our kids. We see the dangers they can involve themselves in, and so we have to be more devoted to them than themselves. So the prophet, being a leader of the believers at that time, also he has to be devoted to the believers more than they are to themselves, because he understands what they don't understand. Then he says, and his wives are as their mothers. They are like their mothers. So the God used the word, his wives are just like their mothers, right? So the prophet is standing as a father figure for the believers. I'm not saying he's a father, but he's standing as a father figure. We understand you have to be there for your kids. So you have to be there for the believers. You have to be devoted to them, right? But he's not a real father, meaning Quran chapter 33 verse 40. Ma kana Muhammadun aba ahadin min rijalikum walakin Rasulallahi wa khataman nabiyyin. Muhammad is not the father of any man among you. Anyone among your men. He's not a father, right? He's just a messenger of God and the seal of the prophets. So the prophet is more devoted to the believers than themselves, and his wives are as their mothers. And those of kinship are more devoted to each other in the register of God than the believers and the immigrants. So those of kinship, meaning relatives, if you are related to somebody, you always pay attention to each other. You can understand this if you travel together. If you have ever traveled with a family member, whether by road or by flight, you always look out for each other first. Before you think about a friend, you always look for your sister, your brother, your auntie, your cousin. You understand? They are more important to you before any other person. So that is the devotion God is telling us about. And those of kinship are more devoted to each other in the register of God than the believers and the immigrants. Unless you do kindness to your allies. So those who do kindness to their allies, if you have an ally, be kind to their ally. Don't always have the need to always take preference over your family, over your ally. Your ally also is important. That is why the believers are allies of each other. Quran chapter 9 verse 71. The believers should be an allies. That will be jotted down in the register. So if you do kindness to your allies, it will be written down as a reward from God. So that is the verse, chapter 33, verse 6 we just spoke about. So ladies and gentlemen, I have 5 minutes more to drop the topic. What did I miss? Thank you very much. Sadiq Ali Sharian says, thank you. Keep exposing those fools. Fool sleeps. Yes, fool sleeps. Them Abus and Ibis are lies inspired by Satan and his allies against all the messengers and the most merciful. Yes, I agree. Yes. So Black Bishop says, hi, sir. How can I reply to my friend? Every day he keeps saying you should not shave your beard. It is haram because it is in hadith. Just ask him, which one is the book of God? Is it the hadith or the Quran? If he says the Quran is the book of God, then tell him to prove to you in the Quran where God says shaving your beard is haram. Shaving beard is not haram. Shaving your hair is not haram. Anybody who tells you shaving beard is haram, tell them how to Anaka. Bring your proof from the book of God. Let's check. If he says he's in the hadith, ask him, is the hadith the book of God? If he says no, then the case ends. Quran chapter 6 verse 114. Shall I seek a judge other than God while he is the one who has revealed to you the book explained in detail? So if God has revealed a book, he said you shouldn't seek any other judge apart from God. So why go to seek any other book to judge your lives? You are stressing yourself. It is only the ignorant people who will go for the judgment of ignorance. Quran chapter 5 verse 50. Avoid that. Yeah, salam Abdul Razak, Naganka salam. Greetings, bro. So yeah, thank you very much, Bilal Jibril Naganka. Bilal, I appreciate that. Thank you for the support. So for those on TikTok, any questions? If there are no questions, I'm almost bringing this topic to an end. I'm getting exhausted. 2 hours of my time is already up, right? Because I'm thinking lately. I've been thinking of starting to trim my hours down so that I can do 1 hour at a time, so that I can have twice in a week, right? 1 hour, 1 hour. I think twice in a week will favor more. If I stay 2 hours, sometimes people find it hard to watch all the lectures. But I appreciate your presence. I think we have over 60 people watching from Facebook and YouTube, and we have about 20 people watching on TikTok, which is good. I appreciate the presence. But unfortunately, for those on TikTok, you don't get to see the replay unless when you go to my YouTube and Facebook page to see the replay of the lecture. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is where babashuaib, the correctional officer, I bring this to an end. Like I said, for those on Facebook and YouTube, when I put the the banner, you see that if you want this shirt, I have it in different colors. It's available: yellow, green, blue. There's XL, there's large, there's small. There's, if you are slim, you are fat, you are whatever you are, the sizes are there, and they are on offer. 50% offer. natsalenterprise.myspreadshop.fi, or you can put .net or .com or .eu and so on. And then you can get your copy to show the support. I appreciate the support. And also don't forget the GoFundMe page, Hop Nima. We have gotten 25% of the donation of the contribution already. 25% is available. And we are willing to get it started. Hopefully this month we have to start the distribution. So keep the donations coming. I appreciate that. We have 25% objective met. And God bless all who have actually donated and are willing to donate in the future, near future, inshallah. And also for those who are looking for the hardcover of the Great Quran, if you need a PDF version and you have direct access to me, contact me. I will give you for free. But if you're willing to support by actually buying a copy, I appreciate that, because I also use some of the funds to add to the donations when I'm organizing these events. And also when people actually are in need based on their situations, I do give a helping hand to help out with their situations. So bear that in mind, right? But of course, if you get in touch with me, I can give you the PDF version. It's not necessarily that I have to sell it to you. I can give you for free. And that is my correctional officer's number on below the page. For those who are willing to actually send me a message, ask your question, give me some shout outs, compliment, whatever it is, get in touch with me. I don't need a personal assistant or secretary. You get in touch, your message will come. But sometimes I find it hard to answer a lot of questions because I don't have the time, right? So this is why I normally come on live and give, with all diligence, give you the chance and then answer the questions, right? I'm human, right? So I have a life as well. So I can't just, be there always to answer people's questions. I'll be exhausted. So I need to find time in between to respond to people because I love what I do. I love this thing I'm doing. I love it. I'm doing it for the sake of God, right? And I love it. So likewise, the way you people are showing me the support, it keeps me going. And thanks to my brother Mohammed, based in Canada, I appreciate your support a lot. You've done a lot for me, and God bless you for your effort. And this is my YouTube channel, Bush2G9, the correctional officer. You find me with that name, Bush2G9, and you find this guy, and then you find my logo there, right? So let me see what else did I miss before I go. So thank you very much. Bandwidth. Yes, for those who need the copy of the PDF, get in touch with me direct. Just find my number. I put it on the page. Watch the replay. Take my number. Get in touch. If you are sufficient, you are self-sufficient, and you can afford it, I will appreciate it if you can afford it online. However, for those who don't have the means to actually afford it online, I'm talking about the PDF version, get in touch with me. I'll give you the copy. Halas. And the web page, thanks to this brother Mohammed, The Great Quran was the one I was accessing during my lectures. That's the greatquran.com. It is about 90% ready. You can start enjoying it. However, when you see any, mishaps, you should be rest assured it will be fixed in due time. But don't worry, you can be using that for a bit till it's ready, right? So thank you very much, Abdul Samad Adam. I appreciate your presence. Hussein Mohammed, yeah, get in touch with me. I'll give you. Jones, Rashid, Soy Bratier. I see Bandwidth. I see Hussein Mohammed. I see Kudisia, Dragonfly, Patrol, Abubakar Bangura, Salis Jimmy, Baba Sedu, Mawia Salis, Bangola, Balogun, Bilal Jibril, all of you, Abdurazak, Momadi Pedro, Stussy. I cannot name them all, right? I'm getting exhausted. And Brother Hassan, I see you all. NSC, peace be upon you. Lucky Drechen, thank you all. Sister Alma Johnson, I know you'll be watching later. Thank you. Sister Diana, I know you'll be watching. Thank you, Sister Fatima Chin, Brother Hamza Malik, all of you. I appreciate the support. Thank you very much for the support. One love. And let's keep in touch again. If God willing, I have the chance, I will be on JC Radio. Last week, I wasn't able to be online due to some unforeseen circumstances. But God willing, I'll try my best to be available this Saturday on JC Radio so that you enjoy some of my. I normally talk about Islam and what the Quran says on JC Radio, right? Thanks to Brother Joe who gives me that platform on his radio show that I do present what I have. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Correctional Officer. I have to bring this topic to an end for today. 2 hours is enough. If I stay for too long, I will spoil it. So this is where I leave you in peace. One love. Love you all. Peace out.